Okay, welcome back everyone. We're here at Google Next. Chip Rogers, Chief Partner Officer at Workspan, and what an amazing event here at Google Next. So many people here, and it's just great to be back in person again.
It is. So the last time I was here was 2019, so it's amazing. It's been 4 years. It's a great crowd, great excitement, a lot of engagement, and the opportunity to meet a lot of folks in person that I've only had meetings with over video conference, so that's really great, and a lot of energy with all the announcements yesterday, a lot of focus on Gen AI, a lot of focus on the ecosystem, so really a lot of fun.
It's great to hear the ecosystem being so important and talked about in the keynotes and having so many partners here. Really terrific. So I am so excited to be joined by Dai Vu. Dai is General Manager of Marketplace and ISV go-to-market initiatives, that's the place to be. It's really it's the hot topic these days.
Yeah, Marketplace has experienced pretty significant growth over the last few years. It's become mainstream. It's IT procurement patterns have changed significantly, and more solutions are being procured through marketplaces. And the reasons are, it's very compelling from an end customer perspective. It's very compelling from an ISV and seller perspective. And from a strategic standpoint, our investments in ISVs in terms of, hey, they are critical components of workloads that need to move to the cloud. They help fill gaps in the portfolio in terms of providing solution completeness. We've invested heavily in the platform, but we've also invested in a lot of incentives to drive those solutions to be transacted through Marketplace.
That's really interesting. There's been a lot of that going on. I think that if you want to co-sell with the Google Field teams, that it needs to be transacted through the marketplace. It just streamlines everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you look from an end customer perspective, I mean, there's the obvious benefit as it relates to drawing down on the customer commit, dollar for dollar, but there are a lot more benefits in terms of like consolidated billing, the ability to have a very streamlined procurement process, and what we're seeing customers do is they're taking their third-party spend and just consolidating that with a growing cloud budget. So it's very compelling benefits for them to transact through Marketplace. And then from an ISV perspective, consistently we hear from our partners that they're able to have shorter deal cycle times, they're able to have higher win rates, and then surprisingly they're also able to get bigger deal sizes, because we're seeing with private offers consistently deals that are millions and tens of millions of dollars. And then from a field perspective, we've invested heavily where our field reps get attainment for most solutions on Marketplace, and they also have a lot of incentive to bring ISVs into their accounts because, as I mentioned, solution completeness and help complete the entire workload that needs to move to the cloud. So, if you really kind of look at this supply chain between how an ISV gets their solution into an end customer environment, you think of all the stakeholders along that value chain, whether they be our field reps, our sellers, our services partners, the ISV solutions, the end customers, all the financial benefits, all the time to value benefits are very compelling and highly aligned, and that's what's driving this flywheel effect where you're seeing the significant growth in Marketplace overall.
That's exciting, and then ultimately the customer wins because you've got a more holistic solution and other things that are all coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, our ecosystem, we've invested heavily in our ecosystem over the last few years, both from a coverage standpoint, an incentive standpoint, and, consistently our partners tell us that Google Field tends to partner very well. We take a very first party equals third party approach where we have a very consistent way of how we talk about solutions, how we market, how we distribute, and I think that lands very well with our partners.
That's great. So if you're an ISV partner, listening, how should they get started? What's the entry point? And clearly the value is there. How do they get started?
Well, I think a couple things. I think number one is if they're not already part of the partner program, Partner Advantage, they need to become a sell services or build partner. That's number one. And then as they think about getting listed on Marketplace, I would advise two things. One, we have a very rich set of documentation online, understand what it takes to integrate their software into the platform, what are the billing and pricing models that we support. And then then I would also suggest that they should think about how marketplace kind of fits with an overall cloud go-to-market strategy. It's not one of these things where you get listed on a marketplace and all of a sudden there's a ton of business that flows through. I think you have to invest in it, both from a resourcing standpoint, both from a business policy standpoint. Like for example, comp neutral policies in terms of like whether deals go through marketplace or offline. Typically, I advise a lot of partners when they get initially listed, maybe to do a private offer only listing, because all you're doing is taking that direct sales motion and bringing it online, and that becomes a very seamless transition for a lot of partners. And then as they get used to the marketplace sales motion, they can extend and exploit some of the other platform features and more the advanced capabilities on billing and pricing and renewals and so forth.
So a good way to ease into it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. So, gosh, so many things happening. Anything in particular you'd like to call out that's happening here at Google Next that would be good for ISVs, partners, and customers?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things that we've talked about, and I think number one is where, one of the things I want to see for marketplaces, I want to enable all partner types to be able to participate in the value creation and delivery. So it's not just ISV and build partners, services and sell partners as well. So we're investing quite heavily in terms of enabling the resell motion, for example. And we recently launched some capabilities where an ISV can provide custom discounting to a reseller, so an incentive to sort of drive that solution. And then we're also continuing to invest in other areas like this concept of cross-channel commit burn down. So this is the ability for a direct commit customer with Google to transact through a reseller on Marketplace and have that transaction burn down that direct commit. So it broadens the set of resellers who can participate in Marketplace. So a lot of things we're doing, but enabling and reselling that motion, or enabling that resell motion is critical.
That's fantastic. Dai, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time. We're actually working on some things together, and excited about that, and working with ISVs on that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chip.
Thanks, Dai. And thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.